want to take that risk. So that's actually when I got familiar with your work and started really seeing what you was doing. And that's when I was just like, I need to connect and see what this artist is about. And since I met you, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge need in the Bronx. We had our gallery there for about a year, and we discovered we had to kind of make some decisions, and we had to think about who we were serving. And when we look back at the year that we were there, we weren't really reaching the people who were in our community consistently. The people who were coming to our art shows were coming. The traffic was coming from Manhattan and Brooklyn, and the artists, they were coming from all 5 boroughs and even Jersey. So it was I feel like at the beginning, because we were so essential, we were a little bit pinned down as a Bronx gallery, but we were serving artists from all the 5 boroughs, and we realized that the problem was much greater than just the Bronx. The problem is a whole New York City issue with black artists having lack of a proper space. We think it's just the Bronx, but if that were the case, then people wouldn't have to travel so far to get this. And we had to make the decision that we have to choose at this point to serve our artists. And it's best that to serve our artists, we be in a place that's very thriving, where we can provide a good space for these people to sell their works. We aspire to be a gallery where we consistently sell all types of work of all price ranges, and that requires us to be in a better space. But at the same time, we're still going to be working in the South Bronx. We have an event on Friday, September 11th. Nice. It's a very nice rooftop event. We're raising funds for mental health programming, and that's right up in the South Bronx hub. And we're still going to be doing a lot of stuff. The old gallery is now going to become Scott Blue Studios. So we're still going to be working in the same space with the same working for the same in the same area.
Gotcha.
So we're still going to do stuff there, but we're also going to be serving the Brooklyn community. So if whether we're in the Bronx, whether we're in Brooklyn, please come and check us out. If you're an artist and you want to exhibit with us, we do a lot of stuff at both locations, and that's about it. The next thing. Yeah.
Well, with you bringing that up, everybody coming out, you do events, but besides that, you have an art gallery, and your art gallery is like a creative hub for artists. Can you get into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we consider the gallery a creative hub, a safe space. We regularly provide opportunities for artists to come and network with other artists, and we have these things called art nights. So they're just local artists coming to the gallery, working on their artwork, socializing, drinking, meeting new people. It's a very creative and safe space. If you're creative, please reach out to us because we want to work with you. And there's so many artists that come through our doors and that come and work with us. So it's a good place if you're new to the art scene and you don't know that many people in your field. You're going to need colleagues. So whether you're a musician or a poet, come work with us so that you can meet like-minded people and progress in whatever your focus is.
So we're going to give everybody your information at the end of the interview, because I know a lot of people want to know how they can get in contact with you, but there's a lot of levels to what you do, so I definitely want to get through everything. I want to also speak about the mission. So we spoke about your art hub, so what's the mission you have? Because you've been doing this for like a couple of years now, and your mission is getting bigger and bigger.
So, being honest, when I first started out, when we first created the space in Long Island City, it started because I was getting tired of painting on my bed. I was painting on my bed in my room, and I wanted to take my art serious. And when we tried with the space, I tried doing all these things, tried to create my own solo show, tried to put my art up and get people to come and see it, and I realized it wouldn't work, and that I needed teamwork and collaboration in order for it to work. So when we had our grand opening, we had our first group exhibition, and that turned out to be our first successful event. And from then I saw that the space could be used for so much more, because I had so much experience, so many scary experiences with trying to put my art up in the art world in New York. It was very clear this could be something that's used for, not just yourself, but other people. And you can still help yourself, but you also can help other people.
Absolutely.
And it just kind of grew, I like to say New York City helped take it over, because it just seemed like people just kept putting in, contributing to the space. It's not something that I did on my own. It was a lot of people that had helped, from the artistic curator, Brandon Smith, to my partners, Blue and Paula. They've done so much to help build on this. So that's kind of how it grew. But we aim and we cater to artists of people of color, the LGBTQ community, and artists and creators with disabilities. And that just means that we give this sort of preference, for our exhibitions, but we don't we try not to turn anyone away, except that during the Dread exhibitions, then we handpick the artists for those sort of shows.
What is that about?
So we have two types, where we have the open call, and the open call is where we do not turn away any artist. Any artist can submit, and they get to hang their art on the wall, and that's just a large group show. And then we have the Dread exhibitions, where there's a team of gallery owners or art industry people that are reviewing the art, and we handpick and select you for for the exhibition.
Okay.
And this is for more serious artists, and it'll include some things like an opening reception, an artist talk, a closing reception, that type of thing, and we put you on an email blast and really try to promote your pieces. But that's more for the handpicked people.
I want to get a little bit more in depth into your blackface characters, because as an artist, sometimes I feel your work might get misinterpreted.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people get a visual, but they don't know the story behind it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with art. Sometimes people don't know the whole history behind the art. So can you explain what's behind your your blackface, and why you started doing the blackface, and what it means to you, and why it's so significant?
Sure. When I first started painting the blackface, when I saw it, I didn't know that much of the history about it, but I thought it was kind of beautiful. When I made those images, I thought I saw the black skin, and it looked powerful to me, and I'm a trained historian, so I felt from just feeling it that there might be some more history behind it. And just knowing this in the context of Black history, a lot of things that are related to Black culture we're trained to not like, and trained to have certain feelings towards. It's just very intentional and strategic. So I painted it, and when I painted my images, the Black people who saw it, they loved it. My friends, my family members, they all know about the racist 1920 minstrel images, but they loved it when I painted it, and they felt differently when I painted it. When I did research on it, I learned that blackface existed 3,000 to 4,000 years before Christ, and that it's extremely old, and that you could find examples of blackface all over Africa. The oldest form of blackface that I found was from ancient Egypt, in a place called Kemet and Kush, which is in modern day Egypt and Sudan. So blackface is something that's extremely old. You can find so many historical examples of it, and it's like there's this much racist history, but there's this much African history. So as someone that is knowledgeable, I view it as a reclamation, because that little bit of history is like, if we can just train you to get over it, then you would see that black skin. There's nothing inherently wrong with black skin. Seeing the jet black skin, we were trained to think that this is wrong, and to associate that with coonery, and that's because of how the Black people were depicted. But in my depictions, I don't depict them that way. It's something that uplifts Black people. So I'm coming you know, the racist white people who put out those blackface images, they would not like my paintings because my message is the complete opposite. It's defined as subversive because it's subverting an established tradition. So, you know, anything that you feel uncomfortable about my paintings, that's intentional. You're meant, if you're a black person and it makes you feel some way, you're meant to feel that because it's supposed to be a conversation with how you view blackness and how you interpret blackness, because you may have been taught that this is something you should like, but in my images I'm painting them as gods or as powerful people, so it changes. You know, when they're in a completely different context. Context is everything. So it's intentional if you feel it and you feel some type of way.
Well, I love the explanation because I know you have a series of black faces. Sometimes people might see your work on Instagram and they might not know what's really behind it, and now they have to go do their research because you did your research, and now you're letting them know what's behind it. So I also want to get into what you're dealing with now, what you got your hands in. You're basically dealing with some Basquiat art. So can you let people know how they can get to view it, or what are you doing with the art?
Yes, right now on consignment we have some early street works by Jean-Michel Basquiat. The work is circa 1979-1980, and it's a collection of signed postcards and color sketches and just little drawings on paper. You can view it now by appointment only. Just call us. Call us or email us. The information is on our website or our Instagram, and schedule a viewing, and you can come check out the work. It's for sale.